At the start of movie, it is shown that a company is eradicating Amazon rainforest. As a result, the native tribe houses are being demolished. Justine, a college student, and Alejandro is also shown there. Alejandro sends his friend to Justine. That friend invites a meeting, giving a pamphlet. Following that, Justine appears to be having lunch with her father. Justine goes to her friend's meeting at night. The meeting's discussion topic was to save the Amazon rainforests. Alejandro informs them that a company is deforesting those forests to discover the petroleum. So the native tribe houses are also destroying there. Justine says, "Will we have to starve in the forest to save their houses?" Alejandro feels nasty on her words, and he expels her in fury. Next day, Justine apologizes to Alejandro in the college. Alejandro says to Justine, "We should help them because they deserve it." The plan is also made to protect the forest. They knew that the company that is clearing the forest must have an army. Above all, the most problematic thing is that there is a signal issue, so they make a plan, keeping the whole scenario in front of them. Their plan was to visit there before a day. Going there, they will attain the illegal access of signals. After that, they will play the live news. Doing so, their video will go viral, and the people will stand for their support. Then company will have to cease their work unwillingly. All friends agree with Alejandro's plan. Justine accompanies them, excusing her father of a trip. Reaching the airport, they encounter a boy. He was the same who is the commander of this plan, and he was collecting the funds from them. It means he was taking the responsibility for their expenses. Justine was shocked, thinking, why is he alone bearing the expenses of everyone? Then they go in their small plane, embarking it. Going ahead, they hire a rickshaw and reach the hotel. Shortly after, they sail in the boat and reach their destination. Reaching there, they wear a uniform. Alejandro's friend hands over the chains and locks to everyone, so they lock themselves with that company bulldozers and trees. But Justine's lock was out of order because it was not locking. They all get busy and protesting while wearing the masks. Meanwhile, the security force of that company had also approached there, and Alejandro was filming it as live news. Security service tries to arrest them, but how can they be caught? They were locked. But a security man captures Justine because her lock was out of order and did not work. That security man unmasks her and begins to shoot. Justine asks for help from Alejandro. Rather, he says that her father is lawyer in UN, so kill her. Then let's see what will happen with you. Justine becomes desperate and security leader receives a call from someone. Consequently, all security men place their guns down. This call had been received due to Justine, and they were also survived because of her. After that, police arrest them, but the leader of group releases them, paying off the money. Then they proceed. Sitting in the airplane, they are rejoiced in the airplane thinking they got the victory, so they are pleasing with their triumph. Because their identity had gone viral throughout the world, they had become the popular part of the country, and they were the integral news of social media. But Justine was only saddened because she had been misused by them for the sake of their lives. But the happiness does not stay for a long time. There was something wrong in the airplane, and plane got crashed. That airplane drops into the forest. Many people had lost their lives because of this accident. Airplane leader was also in the list of dead people. There were only a few survivors left. One of the survivors is searching for his GPS phone, so that he may call someone for help while sending news. Immediately, they hear the sound of someone. Hearing the sound, Alejandro's friend moves ahead, thinking there is someone who will help them. But an arrow is shot on her neck directly. Alejandro tries to rescue her, but another arrow takes her life, which is shot on the forehead. It was committed by the wild natives. They had knocked everyone into unconsciousness. Those wild natives were taking them to their village through their boats. All villagers were coated with red paint, and those wild natives were touching those entrapped students. Moving forward, they estimate these wild natives are very adverse, because there were hanged dead bodies in the surroundings. Students are weeping as being entrapped. They beg for their life from those wild natives. But there was no one in this vast and savage forest for their help. They go ahead and their female chief approaches there. That female chief says something to them in her language, while checking them. Afterwards, they are caged. Alejandro had phone but of no use. because there were no signals. They notice that one of their friends is missing from there, and those wild natives were behaving strangely with that friend. They make that friend drink a liquid, and he is laid down at a place after taking. Female chief comes there and pulls out his eye and shows to all. All wild natives are filled with joy, witnessing her action. She also pulls out the second eyeball later. At last, she cuts his tongue and eats it. After that, their main chief dismembers his hands and feet, which is so pathetic. He was still alive. Then they behead him. They drink the blood coming out of it after collecting. Here it is revealed that these wild natives were cannibals. Some wild women cook his body parts after cutting. All friends were observing their friend being cooked in front of their eyes. They all eat his body parts after cooking. That female chief had chosen their friend because it was looking tasty as being bulky. They are arguing at night that neither they come here to stop the company nor they become the victim. Alejandro says that we did not stop any company. It has been committed according to a company's plan. Alejandro was egocentric who wanted to make his name throughout the world, and Alejandro had succeeded in his plan. Alejandro tells that another company will be coming driving their bulldozers, but the time of 3 days will be required for them to come here. But all were being upset thinking that cannibals will end them within 3 days. Alejandro says to them, "Our friend is bulky and he can quench their appetite for 3 days." Hearing it, their friends are infuriated that how egocentric person he is. Above all, it was also the part of plan to bring Justine there, because Alejandro was aware that her father is a lawyer in UN. What will be the better protection for them than Justine? Next morning, some cannibal kids awaken them. Justine plays the flute for a kid which was stuck with her necklace. Meanwhile, their main chief also reaches there, and he leaves, taking those girls, and the girls are presented before the female chief. That female chief checks who is unwed among those 3 girls, and she confirms that she is Justine who was unwed, and remaining 2 girls are sent back. A survivor girl catches the sight of a boat. Those wild natives take Justine while knocking her out. Justine's friend was wanting to escape, but how could she escape? Because their cannibal watchman was guarding there. Then they hit upon an idea. Alejandro's friend throws the cell phone at a great distance. After playing a ringtone, hearing that sound, cannibal watchman leaves to check. Justine's friend flees from there. Getting a chance, she hides in a boat while running from there hurriedly. They again caged Justine in a cage a few times later. Justine was coated with paint, but Justine could not refresh her memory what has been done with her. Then all students were eating together. Justine's friend notices that there is the piece of someone's skin in the plate, and this piece of skin belongs to another female friend, because there was a tattoo on the skin which was related to their friend. Those cannibal kids were also covering them with that friend's skin. She understands that their friend is no more now, and they are eating their friend. And she breaks the pot without any consideration, and she cuts her throat with the broken part of the pot, because she preferred suicide rather than to be the food of cannibal. One of their friends hits upon an idea. He inserts a plant into his friend's mouth that tranquilizes, so the cannibals may be intoxicated while eating his body. Those wild natives take him away with them. They are really intoxicated by that plant when they eat her after cooking. Mostly wild natives lose their consciousness after being intoxicated to a great extent. Finding that opportune time, they begin to escape from there, but Alejandro knocks one of his friend out, while stopping him, so he may be secured. Justine and a male friend begin to run from there. Waking up, Alejandro's friend notices 2 cannibals in front of him, and those cannibals were still in intoxication. He tries to deceive them while speaking, but they were not silly and begin to chew him alive. Somehow, he starts running from there, but all wild natives had chased him. There was contrary effect of the intoxication on them. Catching him, all cannibals begin to eat him alive. They were feeling excitement of doing so. On the other side, Justine and male survivor had reached a river, and they observed the smoke of the crashed airplane and move forward. Justine is fallen down into a river, but her friend rescues her successfully. Going ahead, they succeed to reach the airplane. Those wild natives had built up that place like a shrine, because dead bodies had been hanged there. Suddenly, they hear the ringtone. Justine takes that cell phone, but those cannibals arrive there. they knock both of them again. Waking up, Justine notices that she has been adorned for a ritual. Male friend's hands and feet were breaking off while tying at a place. Afterward, they rub something on his body and many ants begin to eat him after covering his body. Being helpless, he could not act except shouting. Female chief is heading Justine, then a wild native brings the head of someone there. At the same time, another company's bulldozer had approached there, and the whole tribe leaves to fight those people. Justine moves to save her tied friend. He says to Justine, "Kill me and put my soul in rest." But Justine does not kill him, but that cannibal kid puts him into death. Justine starts running while taking out the phone from her friend's pocket. Justine encounters Alejandro at a place who begs her help. But Justine does not help him, and she escapes, leaving him there. A cannibal little girl notices Justine, and she goes to capture Justine with her father. A cannibal little boy helps Justine, showing the leading way. Justine moves ahead. While heading, she observes that security service is killing that cannibal tribe. Showing the phone to them, she tries to indicate that she is a survivor, and they all cease and take Justine into a helicopter. And Justine is asked, "Have your any other friends survived?" Justine tells no, "There is no more survivor than me." That helicopter flies, carrying Justine. Afterward, Justine tells the government officers, her all friends have been dead in the plane crash. Those tribesmen did not harm her in any way, rather, they assisted Justine in getting there. She was telling a lie to stop the clearing of forest, and the movie ends here. I hope that you liked the video. Thanks for watching and have a nice day.